Item Number SCP-1192. Object Class Euclid. Special Containment Procedures. SCP-1192 is contained in a dedicated aviary and is to be provided a diet of fruit supplemented with protein and vitamin additives, as it refuses to consume seeds and insects that are part of a normal diet for its species. SCP-1192 is to be provided with several pencils and pages of paper to allow it to communicate. In the case that SCP-1192 becomes belligerent, mild sedatives may be introduced into its food and water supply under close veterinary supervision. Description: SCP-1192 is a juvenile male gang cockatoo, Calocephalon fimbriatum, a species normally native to Southeast Australia, approximately 33.5 centimeters in length. SCP-1192 appears to be sapient and exhibits intelligence and common knowledge consistent with that of a human child between the ages of 6 and 8. SCP-1192 is unusually disheveled, as it appears to be unable or unwilling to preen itself, and has difficulty flying despite being essentially healthy and uninjured. Close examinations have shown a slight, healed-over contusion on the back of SCP-1192's head, but no internal injury or damage was ever found. SCP-1192 was discovered and brought into containment by Agent on, who at the time was embedded as an undercover agent in the Newark Police Department in New Jersey. It is believed at this time that SCP-1192 began following Agent and trying to attract his attention because of the perception of an authority figure in police uniform. Agent became suspicious due to SCP-1192's unusual species and erratic behavior and sent a request for assistance. A Foundation containment team was dispatched and was able to detain SCP-1192 and bring it to Site for examination. Addendum 1192-01 Experiment Log 1192-01. Shortly after initial containment, experimentation was performed in which SCP-1192 was introduced to a multitude of objects in a controlled environment in order to deduce its abilities. Upon being introduced to the testing chamber, SCP-1192 immediately gravitated to a pencil and paper and began to attempt to write crude sentences. At this point, Dr. was brought in an attempt to communicate with SCP-1192. Who are you? I'm Dr. I'm here to speak with you. Who are you? Timmy. Where am I? You're at a medical center, Timmy. A hospital. Do you know what happened to you? No. Where do you live, Timmy? I want to go home. After several minutes and with some difficulty, SCP-1192 managed to write down an address for a residential home in Montana. Undercover agents sent to the specified residence determined that the location is inhabited by Mr. and Mrs. as well as their son, Timothy, age 7. Agents assigned to monitor the family have noted nothing out of the ordinary with the family thus far. Addendum 1192-02 Researcher Note: as SCP-1192 is unable to manipulate objects with enough coordination to play with the video games it requested, and it shows little interest in the other toys we've offered it, it has taken to scribbling and making crude drawings with the material we've provided. A list of notable materials are as follows: several pages of unrelated words presumed to be writing practice, several pages of crude drawings including race cars, airplanes, and fictional animals and monsters, A single page with the words, "Why am I a bird?" as well as several more indecipherable sentences. A drawing of what appears to be a small child holding the hands of two adults. The child is scratched out and the paper is ripped. The reverse side of the page has the words, "I want my mom." A single page with 126 instances of the word mom and 76 instances of the word home. Dr. Senior Observer. If you like this podcast, subscribe and share it with the community. You can find it on iTunes, Spotify, Google Podcasts, and YouTube under Kelsey Narrates. You can listen early, get episode updates, exclusive access to podcast production logs, and other behind-the-scenes content for as little as $3 a month through patreon.com/Kelsey Narrates. Credit to the original author, A. Lana. Content relating to the SCP Foundation, including the SCP Foundation logo, is licensed under Creative Commons Sharealike 3.0, and all concepts originate from scpwiki.com and its authors. This recording, being derived from this content, is hereby also released under Creative Commons Sharealike 3.0.